Okay, so we are going to get started. So, our year 2 team this year is made up of myself, Mr. Butcher, for those of you that don't know my name, and my lovely teaching assistant is Miss Price.
And in JP class, I'm Mrs. Lee, for those of you who don't know who I am. I'm one of the class teachers. We've also got Mrs. Larby, who's also another teacher in the class, and our lovely TA is Miss Stokely.
Okay, so Carlo, I'm just going to quickly talk you through Carlo class's timetable for this year. The main important things that you really need to know about with regards to the timetable are our PE days. Now, our PE days are a Monday and a Tuesday. Now, this week, we tried to get the children changed at the end of the day when coming out, but we decided that on a Monday and a Tuesday, they're going to go home just to make it easier at the end of the day. So you're going to be able to go home in your PE kits on those days. So with that in mind, if they're going home in their PE kit on a Tuesday, we just need to make sure it's back in school as soon as possible so that it's ready for Monday. As you can see from our timetable, we're still offering a full curriculum to our children. Even though there are some slight changes to the day, we're still managing to get everything in here. We've still got our read, write, ink sessions every day. We've got our daily maths lessons. We're still doing geography, science, computing, history, all of the works. And I'm just going to pop you over to Miss Lee. I think. How do I do this? There we go.
Okay, so for JP class, our PE days are exactly the same as Carlo. They are on a Monday and a Tuesday, but we do have enough time on a Tuesday for the children to be able to change back into their school uniform. So it will just be on a Monday that they will come home in their PE kits. But as Mr. Butcher has said, could you please ensure that they do bring their PE kits back on a ready for the next day, because we will need them the next day. In terms of the curriculum, as Mr. Butcher's already said, we've got a wide range of subjects that the children have already started with us this week. We also have our PE, music and Spanish specialists who will be taking the children for some of those sessions. And I know they've certainly enjoyed the first one with them this week as well.
Okay, so moving on. Are there any changes from last year? As Ms. Lee has just said, our PE, MFL and music has continued with specialist teachers. This year, we are going to have a 15 minutes class novel time every day throughout the whole school. It was slightly different last year. Only some classes were having that class novel time, but it's throughout the whole school. And I really hope our lovely year 2 children have gone home and they have told you what book they are reading. Oh, I've seen a shake of the head there. Oh, that's disappointing. I'll make sure I speak to them on Monday to tell their parents that we are reading The Demon Head Master this term. Wonderful book. The children are really getting into it so far. We can't wait to finish that. So that is our class novel time. I'm going to talk a bit later on. We'll come to the rest of the novels we're going to be reading this term as well. So, okay.
Yeah, so there are some really lovely changes that have been taking place over the summer. We have a newly decorated library. So those of you who would have received our newsletter would have seen some pictures of our library, which we hope at some point over this year we'll be having some time allocated. I know the children in Key Stage 2 are already well ahead with their time there, so we're certainly going to make sure we ensure that the children in Key Stage 1 have the time as well.
Cool. So, what are the measures to keep our children safe? We all at Garrard are really, really excited to be back at work, but obviously keeping safe, especially with everything that is going on, is of the utmost importance. So before entering and leaving the building, each child washes their hands in the morning. Our year 2 children, we've got 8 sinks as they enter the build, as they walk down in the morning, where they will wash their hands with soap and water before drying it before getting into class. Also, any shared resources, so that's science equipment, library books, and art materials, are quarantined for 72 hours after use, which is in line with the government guidance. Also, I'm just going to turn our screen back on because there's something we can show you. Hopefully this works. I don't know. Can everybody see me? The children also, if you look on our camera here, the children also have their own pencil case at their desk. This means that they don't have to share pens and pencils. They have their own things in front of them for the whole day. They don't have to leave their seats or anything like that. So there's no sharing there, which could mean contamination.
And during playtime and brunch time and lunchtime, the children are in dedicated zones within their class bubble. So that's in order to minimise any kind of contact with children from different bubbles. So that's how we're ensuring that the children are remaining at a safe distance during those times, key times as well. So at Harris Garrard, hopefully the children have already been going home, especially today when we announced our winning hub of the week. Mr. Butcher and I are particularly happy this week as we are both in Creative Voice. We got the most hub points over the week this week, so yay for Creative Voice. So each of the children, as I'm sure most of you already know, are a member of a particular hub. So we've got World Studies, Active Science, Creative Voice and Enterprise. So the idea is obviously to build up that sense of kind of camaraderie and competition throughout the school day. They can receive 1 or 2 hub points over the week for various reasons, whether it's to do with their learning, using their own initiative, showing kindness. Particularly in Year 2 today, we've been speaking a lot about good manners. So I know a lot of the children today have been earning some of their points for that. And obviously if they're achieving kind of their own personalised targets or things that they want to set out to do for themselves, is another way that they can actually earn hub points within the classroom.
Okay, so following on from that, this year there's a slight change to how we're collecting those hub points in. We have these really, really exciting boxes out in the playground. It's really, really satisfying to pop those in. I don't know if anyone's ever been to Asda and you get to pop the token in at the end. It's exactly along the same sort of lines. So when the children receive a hub point, they get a little token, and then at some point during the day they can go outside to where our box is and they can pop that in before they're collected at the end of the week, which is very, very exciting.
Okay, so in terms of ensuring that our children continue to make the right choices and follow alongside our 5 golden rules, we give them lots of opportunities to make the right decisions. However, as I'm sure you're already aware, if a child's behaviour expectations falls beyond what we expect them within the classroom, they will be given some time with a member of SLT to have a bit of reflection time about kind of their choices, why they thought that happened. And obviously then they will come back and we'll discuss that together. However, for any kind of more serious breaches, there are obviously procedures in place which are in line with our behaviour policy, and obviously where it's necessary, there will be a phone call home, potentially in those more extreme circumstances.
Ms. Lee. So, how do we assess your child? The top bit there is actually it's actually wrong. We assess your children every day throughout our read writing sessions. So that when the children are reading, we will listen to your children read. But officially, at the end of every half term is when your child will be assessed for their reading in terms of the reading, but they're bringing home the phonics group they are going into. You'll be given a report each term which will outline your child's progress and attainment in English and maths. And we will also endeavour to communicate with you during termly parents' evenings. However, they might look something similar to what we're doing now due to the current climate.
Okay, so in terms of the children's maths learning for the autumn term, so if you look at your screens, hopefully you'll be able to see the block which refers to the Year 2 to Year 6. So this week we've been looking at some kind of bridging units with the children, because obviously we are aware that, you know, that the majority have not been in school since March. So it's just kind of making sure the children are kind of caught up with those objectives from Year 1, making sure they're in kind of preparation and readiness for Year 2. Over the next few weeks, we'll be looking at place value with the children, addition and subtraction, multiplication and division.
Oops, sorry.
And then obviously after the half term will be kind of more of the areas of time, looking at fractions and problem solving with them as well.
Cool. So these are the literacy texts that we're going to be studying in class. So all of our English work is going to be based around these texts throughout the year. If you can see now on the left hand side, currently we are reading traditional tales, which is including Roald Dahl's version of those in Revolting Rhymes and Into the Forest by Anthony Brown, which is a beautiful book. And
yeah, we can go through more. So in the second half of the autumn term, we move on to Anne Fine's Diary of a Killer Cat.
Great book. And
also then Dickey & Smith's The Hodgehog, which is actually one of Mrs. Lee's favourite UK-based animals, so she's very excited about that.
There we go. After Christmas, when we come back after Christmas, our history learning is based around the Great Fire of London, and our English, the writing and the reading we're going to be doing English links up really well with that, because we're going to be studying non-fiction books that are based on the Great Fire of London. So it'll give a chance for the children really to transfer those skills and make links between their history and their learning.
Going into the second half of the spring term, we'll be looking at a really beautiful book called The Owl Who Was Afraid of the Dark, and also The Owl and the Pussycat. So it's quite a traditional kind of story there as well.
It's a really cool poem. Summer 1 will see us look at Leela and the Secret of the Rain, which is a lovely book. Gregory Call, and the picture isn't on there, but Grace and Family. 3 lovely books. African-based books there, and from Jamaica as well.
Mm-hmm. And then finally in the summer term, we're going to be looking at quite a kind of sort of interesting story called The Village That Vanished, which talks a lot about some quite kind of mature themes within the book, and also The Great Kapok Tree, which has again got some great discussions about deforestation that the children are going to have within that as well.
Cool. Okay, so how can you support your child at home? On Monday, all of the children in Year 2 are going to come home with their reading record and their book bag book with them. Now, the best way you can support your child at home is by listening to them read every night. The reason for that being, we need to increase their fluency and their speed in their reading, and the best way to do that is just practice. The book bag book that your children are going to have, they're going to have for the whole week, and they're going to read that each night. Now, at first thought, you might think that's a bit repetitive. Why are they reading the same book over and over and over again? But the reason behind it and the science behind it is that they're building up their fluency, they're building up their speed with those words, so then when they encounter those words in other texts later on down their school life, forever, they get really, really speedy at reading them. So what we want to see is by Thursday night, really, your child should be super speedy at reading that book bag book, and that's what we want to see. So if I walk around on a Friday and I'm listening to them read, they're going to be really fluent and really clear when they're reading that. So practice makes perfect. Every day, your child needs to have that book in school and be taking that home every night.
So the children will be having spelling tests every Thursday, and they will be given their spellings on Monday. So they'll be coming home with a copy of the spellings for the week, and also they will sometimes be linked with the sounds that they've been focusing on during their read write ink sessions. The homework books, which I know quite a few of you really, really liked last year, have been ordered. They are on their way, and we will keep you up to date with those. But also, the children do have access to things like Purple Mash. Obviously, we can make sure if they haven't got their password or their code, that you can get onto that, and that's a good kind of way of practicing other areas in the meantime until the books arrive.
Super. So just some final notices from us. Every child needs to have a water bottle with them in school. The reason being is that we can't share cups, and it just makes it a lot safer for your child to have their own water bottle in school. So that's the first message from me.
Just also in terms of PE kits and uniforms, Obviously, we ask that all of the uniform that your child comes into school with is labelled, does have their name on it. We've seen quite a few already, but I do have one jumper that has now on my lost property peg. So if any of you in JP class, your child has come home without their jumper, I do have one left in the classroom, but we just kind of, ask that you do make sure that you've got those and they are all labelled as much as possible.
Okay, and just another reminder for me that your Book Bag books are coming home on Monday. Can I just ask one thing? If you have any of those at home, or if you come across any of those at home, because we are missing a few, could you just pop those into school on Monday? That would be great, and then I can leave those 72 hours before we can get them back out again, because it's really important that we don't lose those. And they're actually on the screen. A Job for a Hairy Fairy, that's my favourite one. It's a wonderful book. So, shall we do a tour?
Yes. So Mrs. Larby and I are going to start showing you just a quick kind of whistle-stop tour around JP class. Now, we're hoping that we won't lose any kind of connectivity. So hopefully you can all still see me. So if you don't, or if you can, thumbs up. If there's anybody that's got any problems, then just thumbs down. We'll try our best. So this is JP class. So you can see, apologies, I will try to keep it as still as I can, because I know it's quite a kind of, it makes people a bit sick if they're moving too quickly. So the children all have their names on our rainbow. They did particularly well today, so you've got most of them actually on the super rainbow and the one below that. So each day the children have the opportunity to move themselves up, and as a result of that they then get their allocation of their hub points. Other areas around the classroom, the children have displays across all of the areas. So we've got a maths display over there. If I take you nice and slowly, not too quickly, to our other boards in the room. So we've got our science, history and geography displays. All the children also have their own named pegs. So they come and put all of their belongings for the day there as well. Then if we move over here, both of our classrooms have a organised reading resource area. So we have all of the books that are related to our topics and our learning for this half term, so the children can actually access those during the lessons if there's any kind of research-based ones. And that is pretty much JP class. So I'll pass you back over to Mr. Butcher, who's going to give you a whistle-stop tour of Carlo.
Hello, I'm just going to walk across the corridor into my classroom. Here you can see our lovely Key Stage 1 corridor behind me. Okay, so this is my classroom here. Here on the desks, if you look on the desk, you'll see each child's got their own space with their own pencil case there. Here's the front. Here's my lovely interactive whiteboard where I do lots of my teaching from. If we go over here, we'll see we've got our sink with some steps there. I don't know if you can see that. I'm not very good at rotating this camera. So the children, whenever they leave the room for playtime, they come back in after playtime, they're going out to break, etc. They can wash their hands with soap and water on the way in and on the way out. What else shall I show you? Here's a history and a geography display at the back. We've got a smaller reading corner this term, just because of the sharing of books, but also because it's just predominantly for our non-fiction books that are based on our topic. The rest of our lovely books are in the library. And there's the way out over here. I think that's it, really.
I've just thought you might like to see, actually, before we open up for kind of any Q&As. Obviously, our children have been completing some learning on our class artists. So this is Carlo's one. So you'll be able to see that, hopefully. And then if I walk you down the corridor a little bit further, a slightly darker, I'm afraid, where we are, where our display board is. But here's all the children in Jackson Pollock and their fantastic artwork that they've done based upon their artist, and all the children have got their learning on top of there as well. Okay, so we will bring you back into where we started, which is JP class. Now, obviously, we will open up, and if anybody has any kind of questions. So if you do, could you please, I think there's the option, is it to wave your hand on the button, I believe?
or if you have any questions, you could pop them in the chat and we'll do our best to answer those. Just going along. Has anybody got any? Is there any questions? Am I still on mute? No, thank you, Ms. Shepherd.
You.
Good, thank you.
Thank you to those of you shaking your heads.
Okay, well, I think we'll say goodbye. If you do have any questions, please feel free to call into the office and leave a message for either myself or Mrs. Lee, and we will get back to you. So, well, have a lovely weekend.
Yeah, enjoy. We'll see you all on Monday.
Oh, there might be a question. Is this a question?
Oh, yes.
When is the holiday half term? The half term starts on, bear with me, I'm going to get my diary.
I believe the last day is the 16th of October, so it will be the week beginning the 19th. And we also have obviously a 2-week half term in October. Is that correct? Yes.
Yep.
Mrs. Lee remembered. Okay, brilliant.
There's also one for your diaries as well. There's an inset day on the 2nd of October where the school is going to be closed because we've got some training for our teachers and staff. Next one. Can we get a copy of the timetable?
We will double check with our Mr. Shepherd and we'll get back to you on that one. On the newsletter that you should get home today, hopefully you will see that the key kind of lesson times and things like that are on the newsletter. So if there's any kind of other queries regarding what subjects or lessons we're doing on certain days, please just ask and we'll be able to let you know.
Okay, last one. Do we write in their records books daily when they've read their books? Yes, please. If you can sign that they've read their books, and that would be great, because then we know that they're reading every day at home. That's what we want to see. We're just going to stamp their books this year, just so that we don't have to be picking them up lots if they're going home, etc. Yeah, thank you, Mr. Shepherd, has answered that question as well. But yes, please, if you can write in their record books daily, that would be great. When does SATS prep start? SATS prep, it's all the time. We're learning all the time. So yeah, SATS prep starting now.
If there are any more questions?
Oh, there's a hand up. I can see a hand up. How do I do this? Well done, you two. Thank you, Mr. Shepherd.
Thank you.
Thank you. I've got a hand up. I'm just going to
unmute. And I think that's Lacey's mum.
Hello.
Hello. Oh, I've got.
Oh, it's hello, Finley.
Well, we can't hear you. I don't know if it's a signal thing. If you did want to ask a question.
Oh, here we go. Oh no, here we go.
Here we go. Oh no, that's someone else. That's okay.
Yeah, no, that's.
Oh, that's
if I lower hand.
Oh, there we go. Hello.
Is that Leanne?
Yeah, we've got Leanne.
Oh, I think it's a sound on here, maybe. Oh, there we go. There we go.
Oh, can you hear her? Hello.
Hello.
Oh.
Classic Zoom. I believe you're on mute. If you could just type your question in, that would be a lot easier for me because I don't really know what I'm doing. Thank you. Thank you for coming. Oh, thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you for your thank you.
Which days PE is on a Monday and a Tuesday for both classes. Yeah.
Any more questions? Otherwise, obviously, if there is something that you think of afterwards that you do wish you would have asked, like as I'll just kind of reiterate what Mr. Butcher's already said. Just obviously pop in, give the office a call, and we'll give you a phone call back as soon as we can.
Cool.
All right.
Right. Thank you very much.
Thank you, everybody.
We will see you
on
week.
Monday.
Goodbye.
Bye. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
There you go.